In this video I'm going to show you how to make some monkfish paella. The star of the show is the monkfish. This was a 500 gram monkfish tail. You can ask the fishmonger to skin it and cut it up into about 15 to 20 cubes, about that size. We won't be using that for a while, so I'm going to put it back in the fridge. The ingredients for this dish, apart from the monkfish, is a couple of good sized onions chopped and diced, a couple of good sized green peppers chopped and diced, some Spanish paella rice, some fennel seeds, some garlic which you're going to grate, smoked paprika picante, some Spanish saffron, some dry sherry and some flat leaf parsley. And to garnish the dish you'll need a lemon and a red pepper which has been roasted in an oven at 200 degrees C for about half an hour. Now I've got my frying pan on a high gas here with about 4 to 5 tablespoons of olive oil in it. And the first thing I'm going to do is fry some onions. These will be fried for about 3 minutes. You want to get the onions soft and just a little bit of colour around the edges. At this stage I can grate in some garlic. I just stir that in. Now while the onions are frying, I'm going to prepare these fennel seeds. They need to be crushed. You could use a mortar and pestle, but I'm quite a lazy cook and I like to use my magic bullet. Put them in the container. There we are. They will be added to the mix later. Now the onions have taken on a little bit of colour and I've just added the green peppers. We're going to fry this on a reduced heat for another 5 minutes or so. Now once the green peppers have been cooked a little bit, it's time to add the fennel seed and stir it in. And now to that mixture I'm going to switch off the gas and add 160 grams of paella rice. And I'm going to stir that in. I'm going to put a lid on the pan and I'm going to come back to finish this dish about 30 minutes before we plan to eat it. Now the roasted red pepper is cooled down sufficient for me to handle it, and the first thing I'm going to do is remove the stalk and then try to peel off the skin without damaging the flesh too much. It's actually quite a messy job this, but I prefer to do it this way, although you can buy jars of roasted red peppers from supermarkets. Let's get rid of the seeds. Well, this is the red pepper that was roasted earlier, and I'm going to slice it into thin strips which will be used as a garnish and an extra bit of flavour on the finished paella. and a chef's perk. Well, here we are back again. We plan to eat this paella in about 30 minutes time. I've put the onion and green pepper mixture on a high heat, and I've also prepared 500 millilitres of fish stock, for which I've used the North fish stock pots, which I like very much. I've heated that stock up so it's quite hot. First thing I'm going to do is add some smoked paprika picante, and I'm going to add about a teaspoonful and a half to the mixture. Now going to add some sherry, about 60 millilitres. Oh, a little bit more than 60, maybe 80 millilitres of dry sherry. Sprinkle that into the mix. Now the stock here needs a little bit of saffron. As I said already, saffron is pretty expensive, but you really do need a nice pinch in there to get a very special Spanish flavour. Give it a bit of a stir. Add it to the mix, and finally a good handful of finely chopped flat leaf parsley. Give the whole thing a bit of a stir, and bring it to the boil. Okay, the mixture has come back up to the boil now, and all we have to do is reduce the heat to its lowest point so that it will simmer. Cover it and leave it for about 20 minutes. Right, it's 20 minutes later, and I'm back here to check that the rice is cooked. To do this, just take a little bit of the rice from the side of the pan. It's perfectly cooked. If it was a little bit hard, then you just leave it for another 5 minutes or so. Now, there should be just a little bit of liquid still in there that hasn't been absorbed by the rice. That's the ideal situation. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put the monkfish all around the paella, like so. There we are. All we have to do now is push the fish down into the rice, like so. Then just put the lid back on, raise the heat just a little, and leave it for about 5 minutes. The dish has been cooking now for about 5 minutes. Switch off the gas and plate up. Take out the fish and distribute it evenly between 2 plates. whatever you do, don't waste any, because this stuff that clings to the spoon and to the pan tastes wonderful. Now that the dish has been plated up, time to add a bit of garnish. Always nice if food looks nice. As well as tasting nice. Little squeeze of lemon juice. Tidy up round the plate. There we have Leckie's monkfish paella. Voila!